Hi everyone, Myrna here with Pepper Inbound Marketing. I know it's been a while since I've done a live, but I've been traveling. I actually, through my travel agency, I was hosting a Virtuoso voyage from Singapore to Dubai. So I just got back last Thursday. And while I was traveling, although I did work while I was traveling, I didn't really get to do Facebook Lives much. But anyway, I'm back. And so today's topic is going to be fees and how to talk about them to your travel clients, because this is an area that I get a lot of questions about. Agents are just kind of, it can feel kind of awkward because, there's a lot of information out there about travel and a lot of misinformation, and a lot of travelers think that our services are free, and it's confusing because some agents charge fees, some don't. So if you're trying to charge service fees for your professional advice and expertise that you bring to the table, you need to kind of be prepared with, how you're going to position yourself and how you're going to say that. And even though it can feel a little awkward at first, like everything, it gets easier with practice the more you do it. This fee discussion is really part of your overall sales process. And in most cases, this is something you'll want to do over the phone or in person or over a Zoom call with your prospective client. The way I recommend you do your sales process as a travel advisor is, as you get new requests in, you don't just immediately start emailing things to the client. You really need to drive them to get on the phone with you, especially if it's a brand new client, someone you've never met. You want to get them on that discovery call, because on that call is going to do several things for you. First, you're going to get a feel for what type of client this is and what type of trip they want to plan. You're also going to decide if it's somebody that you even want to work with. If they're talking to you about, cheap this, cheap that, you may not even want this person as a client. And finally, it's going to give you a chance to ask them a lot of questions, and that's going to showcase your value. So by you asking really insightful questions and talking about their trip as an expert with them, that's going to really start to position you as an expert. And then at the end of that call, after you've had a really good conversation and you decide that, yes, this is someone I want to work with, then that's when you transition to bringing up your fee. Sometimes the clients will just ask you, some of them do know that luxury travel planners charge a fee, and they'll say something like, oh, well, is there a fee for what you do? How do you get paid? And so this is a perfect segue for you to, of course, talk about your fees. But if they don't ask, you should definitely bring it up. And the way I do it is I say something kind of like this. I say, based on what we discussed, I can help you plan an amazing trip to Italy and then you kind of put in some of the details of the things they told you, we can get you that early access to the Vatican that you want. And we can get you, that dinner at that special restaurant, overlooking the city. And you kind of just, you really need to show that you were listening when you were asking all of these questions. So based on all of that, I can definitely help you plan this. For trips like this, my professional research and planning fee is X. And then for this price, this is what you're going to get. And then you kind of just give them a quick summary. You'll receive your customized itinerary, up to 3 revisions. You'll take care of booking everything. And you kind of tell them everything that's included in your fee. And then that's it. Then you just kind of stay quiet and see how they respond. Some of them will say like, oh, that sounds great. Some of them will say, oh, is that all? Which kind of tells you that maybe you should have charged more. And some of them will say they have to think about it, or they have to talk to their spouse. And if you get that, that's fine. I usually don't stress out too much about that. I just tell them that's fine. After this call, I'll send over a payment link with the service fee. And as soon as I get the service fee, I'll start to work putting this amazing vacation together for you. If they're ready to do it right there on the phone, then by all means, get their credit card over the phone and process it. It's really that simple. And I think the reason we overthink this is because we're afraid. We're afraid that they'll say no. We're afraid that they'll think that it's ridiculous that we charge fees. So it really comes from your confidence. So if you're about to go into one of these calls, it kind of helps for you to get into a really good state of mind where you feel like you own your value. And then don't stress. They'll either say yes or no. And guess what? If they said no, they're not willing to pay your service fee, then they might not be the ideal client for you anyway. Because what I find is people that do pay the service fee, just are way better clients than people who don't, because they are prepared to value your expertise. They've paid you for your expertise, and now they're more willing to listen to what you say when you make suggestions about their trip. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, or if you want additional advice on this, you can book a call with me at this link right here, myrnacall.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your travel business. Have a great rest of the week.